What's that? That's exactly what we did. Yeah, the problem we just did on the homework, right, is problem number 8. Okay, the thing is, we have some patterns, and I'll give you these for the quiz. I'm not going to have you guys memorize these. Instead of multiplying this out as, doing the whole thing like we just did, where we had the x plus 2. Oh, I'm sorry. It was this one, right? The 2, instead of doing it this way, 2x minus 5, 2x minus 5, and then 2x minus 5. We're going to put it into a pattern and see if it's any easier. Okay. But let's do it with a binomial first. Okay. Binomial squared instead of cube. Let's do the squares first. Okay. X plus 2 times x plus 2. See if it's any easier using these patterns. Okay. Now, we just did it by foiling, right? Here we have a sum. Here's our squares. Okay, square of a binomial. So we have our x plus 2 squared. We're just going to, here's our pattern. We hate to call it a formula because it's just FOIL, really, is what it is. It's a pattern. All right, so what we like to do first, though, is since you'll have these like on your quizzes and tests, I'd like to put what my A is. My A for this problem is x, right? This is a sum, so we're doing this one. So my A is x. My B, let's see, my B is going to be 2, right? So let's just put it into this little form right here. I have A squared. So A is x squared. Then I have 2, so plus 2 times A, which is x, times B, which is 2, plus my B, which is 2, squared. Now I just simplify it. So I have x squared plus 2 times 2 is 4x plus 2 squared is 4. So it's that particular problem seemed to be easier than FOIL, right? Sometimes it's easier, sometimes it isn't. It's like when we have a coefficient for x, this one's not going to be as easy, right? So my A here is 3x. My B is 4. This is a difference, right? Subtraction. So we're going to use this one. A squared. Now, this is why I said this is kind of a little hard. Because we're taking our A squared. We're not just taking the x squared. We're taking that the whole base squared. So you're going to have to distribute that too, right? Okay, so let's put the rest of it in first. Minus 2 times my A, which is 3x, times my B, which is 4, plus my B, which is 4. I'm going to start using parentheses, squared. Okay, again, I have to square both the 3 and the x. Yeah. Sure. Okay, so I get 3 to the 1 times 2 is 3 squared, x squared, minus, let's multiply the numbers. 2 times 3 is 6, times 4, and don't forget the x here. And then 4 squared. And then we still have to simplify that 3 squared, right? 9x squared minus 24x plus 16. So I don't know if this one was so much more easier than FOIL. Seems like it was pretty difficult, right? It's up to you guys. You can do either one. Personally, we had to memorize these way back in the Stone Age when I learned math. They made us memorize these, so I never used them because I could never remember them. I just did FOIL on everything. So again, it's up to you. All right, let's do that cube one. All right. So this is a difference of cubes. Cube of a binomial, and it's a difference. So we're going to follow this pattern. Right there. Okay, let's get our A and our B defined. Let's see, my A is 2x. My B is 5. Okay, let's plug it in. A cubed, 2x cubed, minus 3 times a squared, which is 2x squared, times b, which is 5, plus 3 times a, which is 2x, times b squared, which is 5 squared, minus b cubed. So 5 cubed. Again, don't forget to put that 3 exponent to each one of those. So I have 2 cubed x cubed minus 3. We got to do the same thing with the square too, right? 2 squared x squared. So 3 times 2 squared x squared times 5. Oh, wow, that seems a little difficult, a little tedious. Let's see, I got 3 times 2 times x times 5 squared is 25. And then I have 5 cubed. Anybody know what that is?
25.
Times 5?
Oh, okay.
125, right? Yeah, 5 squared is 25. Okay, let's keep going there. 2 cubed. You're probably just going to put it in photomath and get an answer anyway. All right, 2 cubed. 8 x cubed. Let's see, 2 squared is 4, right? So I have 3 times 4, which is 12, times 5 is 60 x squared. Okay, 3 times 2 is 6 times 25. 6 quarters gives us, what, $1.50? Yeah. 150x minus 125. So I don't know. I don't know if this is going to be easier than what we did on the homework and maybe FOIL and then distribute. I don't know. It's going to be a personal preference for you guys. But we do have patterns. Okay? Personally, I think it's probably easier just to do it all manually. These are kind of hard to use. All right, number 11. Now, I've seen this problem pop up on all kinds of tests. And I can't remember if we took it off the test for this year or not. Used to pop up like 3-4 times. You're trying to raise money for a trip to Spain, and you decide to sell cookies. The revenue from selling X amount of cookies is given by the equation R of X equals 2.5X. The cost for making X amount of cookies is given by the equation C of X equals X plus 32. Now, looking at each one of these, so here's our revenue, right? R of X equals 2.5 times the number of boxes of cookies. And our cost is the number of boxes of cookies plus 32. Now, looking at these, what are you selling each cookie for? $2.50, right? Okay, because that's our revenue. That's got to be the amount we're charging. We're taking it. Now, the profit. Let's think about this profit for a sec. How do we make our profit here? We're selling the cookies, right? So we get this revenue. So that's going to equal our revenue. But we have to subtract what? The cost. All right, so let's do that. The profit is going to equal our revenue, which is 2.5x, right? Minus, now what's our cost? X plus 32. And here's where the students make the biggest mistake. Okay? We have to subtract this quantity. This is our total cost. Okay? X plus 32. I'm going to say at least 50% of students forget to put parentheses there, because what happens is you have to distribute that minus sign, right? And your profit is not right when you don't put parentheses in there. Okay. So let's simplify this. 2.5x minus x minus 32. Okay. See how you're going to get the wrong number if you don't put parentheses there? Don't forget this is a 1x, right? So 2.5x minus a 1x, 1.5x minus 32. So that's our profit function. Profit is going to equal 1.5x minus 32. You got to be really careful with that. Okay, what is your profit if selling 381 cookies? So that's our x, right? So that equals our x. So we're going to go back to our profit function. And we're just going to substitute in 381 for our x. And if I compute this all in my head, it comes out to 539.20. And actually, I didn't do that in my head because I did it last hour. 539.50. And we also determined that that probably would pay for an airplane ticket to Spain. That's about it. You got this locked down, this problem locked down now in your head?
Could you do a problem that I had here without the problem?
I could. Give me a second to answer any questions about the notes I just did. Yes, ma'am.
Over my number 10.
This number 10?
Yeah. Because
Oh, did you do it the other way?
I did it the long way.
Let's do it the long way. That seems like fun. I'm going to do it the long way, too. I think it might be easier. Okay, so we're going to take 2x minus 5 times 2x minus 5 times 2x minus 5. Okay, let's FOIL two of these. 2x minus 5, let's see. 2x times 2x. Yep. Outer 2x times a negative 5 is a negative 10x. Inner, negative 10x. Last, plus 25. Okay, combine the two middle terms. Oh boy, isn't this fun? That was a great question.
This is actually pretty easy.
Like I said, I always thought it was easier. I always did it this way. Okay, now we got to distribute, right? So 2x times 4x squared, 8x cubed. 2x times negative 20x.
Negative 40x squared.
And then 2x times 25.
50x.
And then 2x times 4x squared. Oh, I did 2x. I'm sorry. Negative 5 times 4x squared.
Negative 20x squared.
Negative 5 times negative 20x. Positive 100x. And then negative 5 times positive, that's going to be a negative $1.25. And then combine like terms. We only have the 8x cubed. Here's a negative 40x squared, and a negative 20x squared is a negative 60x squared. What else we got? 50x. And the 100x, right? So that's plus 150x. And then minus 125. Look at that. Got the same answer. No, I don't know. Whatever you think is easier, do. Yeah, I could probably skip a step doing a lot of this in my head. So.
If we do it the other way, like not the way that you originally showed us, if we did that like on a test or something, we would still get
I wouldn't take off for not using the patterns, no. Absolutely not. Okay, so any other questions? I'm going to stop.